Hey there, Mr. Reddit here. Welcome back to another episode of r/entitled Parent Stories. Our first story we'll be reading today. Just married? Mother shall come stay. After that, you want your money back on an item that's selling for 10 times what you paid for it? Sounds good. And after that, am I the jerk for refusing to just skip a day of my commitment to 20,000 steps a day just to prove something to my sister-in-law? Now for every thumbs up this video gets, one Karen gets kicked out. But I haven't anywhere else to go. So please smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications for new stories from Reddit every single day. Just married? Mother shall come stay. Mother Dearest is insane. It was a bit of a ride when I got married. Husband is British, I'm Australian, and we live in England. Hence, all my loving and crazy family came from Oz for the big day. I'm one of 4 kids, and my family are breeders, whereas husband's family is small and significantly less crazy. They all came in dribs and drabs for our December wedding, leaving the warm tropical Aussie climate for -3 Celsius and December snow. Key information is that my mom buzzed off when I was 3 because she was tired of being a mom, so I was raised by the barrel-chested, swearing, but adorable pirate that is my father. Mother has the emotional maturity of a toddler and genuinely believes the world and her children adore her. We do not. Back to the wedding and the BS she pulled. We had organized events for the Australian contingent for the 2 weeks before the wedding, but not much for after, as we were going to be newly married. I don't think I need to expand, because most people understand that newlyweds generally want to spend time together. She arrived 3 weeks before the wedding and is annoyed that she is staying, for free, at my husband's parents' house, where my brother and his wife and daughter were also staying. She wanted to stay at my house, like my sister, who was my maid of honor. This was obviously ignored as she stresses me out, so she sat in the garden of my in-laws' house and pouted like a child until we left, then made passive-aggressive posts on Facebook about being ignored and unloved after traveling so far, which I pettily laughed at because not a single person commented. Wedding day arrived. I wrote on an old account about her actions on the day before and day of our wedding. Namely, she tried to get back with my dad, who was definitely not interested, and then wore pajamas to our wedding reception. But it is what happened after that just irks me. She'd been staying with my in-laws for 3 weeks. She knew husband and I were going on our honeymoon the weekend after the wedding. She then asked the day after we were married for the keys to our house, as she was going to house sit while we were away. You what now? No, you are not accessing my house when I am not there. She then cries about how she booked to come to England for 8 weeks because otherwise the cost of the tickets wasn't worth it. Again, what? All my other family had left the week after the wedding, except my brother and his wife, who instead traveled to London to see friends, but they were still not coming back to see me. I point blank told her that she wasn't coming to my house while I wasn't there. Did I mention I got married in December? So Christmas is around the corner. She plays the family card about how she has never spent a Christmas with me and she will stay in a hotel, but just wants to be with me on the day. I okay this. This is acceptable. Well done on doing a reasonable and rational thing, mother. But I did point out to her that the reason we didn't spend Christmas together was because she chose to buzz off on a yacht, so it's on her. You know what wasn't acceptable? The day we got back from our honeymoon, she rocked up at the house and didn't leave for 2 weeks. Just what every husband wants on their return from their honeymoon. The world's most entitled and awful mother-in-law crashing their house and leaving fertility candles all over the joint while saying we are jerks because we won't talk about our private lives with her. She joined us at my in-laws' house for Christmas. It started fine until on Christmas Eve I got a major case of stomach flu and started throwing up every 20 minutes. The first time I was sick, my mother-in-law rushed to the bathroom with water, a cool compress for my head, and made sure I was okay. My own mother didn't get up from the sofa. I spent Christmas Day in bed, in agony with horrible cramps and regularly throwing up. My mother-in-law and husband took it in turns to check on me and keep me company. My mother only came to see me once, after Christmas dinner, to complain that my mother-in-law gave my husband the Yorkshire pudding that had been made for me, when she, as the real guest, should have been offered it. If I'd been able to throw up on her, I would have. But sadly, I was just painfully retching at that point. I feel for my husband, I truly do. The poor man hid in our bedroom for 2 weeks, only venturing out when I told him the coast was clear. No stars, do not recommend. Have you ever had someone stay at your house who you just couldn't stand? If so, what was wrong with them? Please let us know. Yeah, you Reddit boy. You want your money back on an item that's selling for 10 times what you paid for it? Sounds good. I run an anime/geek store, and we are really lenient with pre-orders. We used to not require a deposit to make an order, and in case you needed more time to pick up an item, all you had to do was ask. We could also hold the items for as long as needed in our storage if you wanted to gather a lot of items so you could save on trips and shipping. Back in February, Funko released a special edition vinyl pop of Naruto Hokage. This one in particular had a 1 in 6 chase variant that ended reaching up to a resale value of $130. But the way I do pre-orders is that if you order 6 of the same price, you are guaranteed a chase. But if you only order 1, you still get a 1 in 6 chance of getting the chase. I just mix them up in random boxes and do a public stream raffle on social media so everyone knows who won the chase, and I get good publicity that way. A client ordered just 1 and left $5 as a deposit. The piece was $15. This particular client won the raffle, along several other clients, but he wasn't that interested in picking it up or paying for the rest of it. I sent him a message letting him know that he won the special variant and had a week to pay for it or he will lose his pre-order. At first, he was angry because he wanted the normal version, not this yellow thing, but we explained he could change it if he wanted, but that this one was far more valuable. He said he asked his son and his son wanted it anyway, but asked for more time to pay, so we gave him 1 more week. Then he asked for another week and another. Then we had to close the store for a time for, 2020 reasons, and we told him we had to close, but we could still schedule an appointment to give him his item or wait until the worst passed. He never answered. Eventually, we were able to reopen the store with regulations in place and send him another message telling him we can save it for as long as needed in these strange times. He still didn't answer the messages, but at this point, he arrived at the store and demanded for his money back, citing how we were in the middle of what was going on. Fair. And he couldn't waste money on frivolous plastic. Also fair. I asked him if he was sure and even showed him the price the figure was selling for. At that point in time, the chase figure was selling closer to $150, and he just had to pay retail price for it, so about $10 more for it. He said he was sure I had made up the numbers, that he had ordered the figure for his son, but he didn't deserve it. Harsh. And just demanded his money back. I just said, fine, I'll give you your money back. Also, I'll just put this figure out for sale. He just said, whatever, just give me my money. I made a point to grab a post-it note that I used to put prices to not damage the box. Write in big black letters, $90, last one, and put it on the glass window that leads to the street. I could see him turn his eyes while I did this. While my employee was giving him his $5 back and giving him a receipt, a young man knocked on the door. I gave him some cleaning goo, checked his temperature, and let him in. He immediately asked to buy the Naruto chase figure. The angry man's eyes went wide open over his mask as I picked the pop and guided the young man to the desk, where he handed me the bills one by one. The angry man stood there, shocked as the younger man was gushing about how hard it was to get that figure and how he was getting it for half the price the other places were asking, and in such perfect condition too. I couldn't have had a better reaction even if I paid him for it. The young man completed his purchase and left as fast as he came. The angry man looked at me, almost as if accusing me of taking advantage of him. I just said, well, you got your money back. I'm happy you are happy. If you need anything else, please let me know and stay safe out there. The man just didn't have much else to say and left. Kind of a small and silly thing to feel good about, but 2020 hit us so hard that any unexpected profit was cause for celebration. So we celebrated that good sale with some instant ramen, Naruto style. Edit. Thanks for all the kind words. My store is in Mexico, and I really appreciate everyone asking me how to support it. I didn't mean to self-promote, and I'm not 100% sure if it's against the rules, so I won't. And also, I can't ship to the US right now due to the situation. I'm not American, so I can't cross the border since I'm not essential. Also, I'm trying to go out as little as possible. I want to answer all of you directly, but I just can't. Speaking of Funko Pops, do you have any Funko Pops? If so, which ones? Please let us know. I want a Mr. Reddit Funko Pop so that I can burn it. Am I the jerk for refusing to just skip a day of my commitment to 20,000 steps a day just to prove something to my sister-in-law? 5 years ago, I made a commitment to get at least 20,000 steps every day, and I've stuck to it every day. It hasn't been easy, but it's something that really felt important to me. I was overweight and stuck in a very sedentary lifestyle and mindset. Making the commitment forced me to get off my butt, taking long walks, and then picking up running, and overall being mindful of no longer being a lazy person. I've slimmed down and am overall much happier and healthier than I was, physically and especially mentally. Other side effects are that my home is cleaner, I know more of my neighbors, I've seen a lot of great street art, etc. It's not something that really impacts my day beyond making sure I have the time, but for some reason, it really upsets my sister-in-law. I don't make a big deal yelling, "Gotta get my steps in every day. Hey everyone, my steps, getting them," or anything. We were at the park with her kids. She asked me if I was still doing that silly step thing, and I said yeah, I felt pretty good about it. She said that she worries about me and how obsessive I am about it. I told her that I don't think I'm obsessive, that it's just a part of my daily routine, like taking a shower or cleaning up. Well, she got all weird and started saying, "I bet you can't give it up for just one day. Just one day. See? You're addicted. It's an obsession. It's unhealthy." I told her that I'm not addicted. Again, the same way I'm not addicted to taking a shower or brushing my teeth. It's just a part of my lifestyle now, that I'm not going to give up and break my streak just to prove a point. That would be ridiculous. I suggested maybe she could join me and try it for a few days, and she went off saying that I was calling her overweight. She went around pestering everyone in the family to challenge myself by taking a day off. She switched her tune and is now trying to guilt me by telling me it's setting a bad, unrealistic expectation for my nieces and nephews. I think that's ridiculous, and obviously if I'm doing it, it's not unrealistic. Her biggest complaint is that for the past few holiday meals we've had together, I make a big show of getting up and taking a walk afterwards, like I'm trying to prove something to someone. I told her that it's pretty common and that some families go on runs together in the morning of Thanksgiving or take a hike. She told me that I was effectively shaming everyone because they wanted to relax. I think that's ridiculous, but she insists that it's insulting to everyone and makes me an obsessed jerk. Am I the jerk? I think it's worth adding that my sister-in-law isn't overweight. At least, I don't see her as overweight or anything. Also, I don't have an eating disorder, and I'm not replacing one addiction with another, so please stop projecting that onto me. You people are trying to come up with these insane hypotheticals to try to gotcha me because for some reason, you want me to have an eating disorder. So let me clarify one last time, and I won't be acknowledging any comments insinuating that I need to reflect or whatever. I do not have an eating disorder. I do not have an exercise addiction. So now that we have that out of the way, okay, you guys cannot listen. I'm logging out. Instead of engaging with me in good faith, you're continuing to try to wrangle me into some scenario where you think I have an eating disorder or exercise addiction. I said multiple times that these are not the issues. Now, why would I continue to say that? Because I have a therapist and we have already gone over this. Well, who do you agree with? OP or her sister-in-law? Please let us know. Her sister-in-law just needs to mind her own business. But your lunch special used to cost $5. I was reminded of this funny story when I was talking to a friend about people that are ridiculous. Oh, and here's some backstory. I'm Chinese, 13, male, and I sometimes help out my parents at a Chinese restaurant they own. The important part is that they bought the place from a different couple, I think like 10 years ago. Keep that in mind. Also, this is in the summer of 2020, so lockdown is still rampant. Okay, on to the story. It's a normal day and I'm just helping out, taking customers' orders, cleaning, etc. A guy walks to the screen we have set up because of lockdown and orders a lunch special. A lunch special is basically almost any meal with fried rice and either a soda, egg roll, or soup the customer chooses. I don't remember exactly what he ordered, but it's not too important. I ring him up and the total is $8. Now, the lunch special used to be $7.45, but because we weren't getting as much business as before, my parents raised the price to $8. Most people don't mind paying an extra 55 cents. I don't know if anyone else does this, but my parents did. The characters are me and the customer. Me. Okay, that'll be $8. Customer. Wait, what? I don't remember exactly what was said. Me. It'll be $8. Now wait just 1 second. I thought your special was $5. Me. That might have been from years ago. Maybe the old owners had the price at $5, but it's $8 now. Well, this is ridiculous. You can't charge me $8. It's $5. Me. Sir, I'm not sure what to tell you. The menu says it's $8. Fine. I'll show you a real menu that says it's $5. At this point, I'm really confused. Me. Okay. Customer huffs and stalks away. I saw him get into his car and drive away, which didn't bother me because maybe it's at home. I tell my mother and she laughs. I wait 10 minutes. Nothing. 15 minutes. Still no sign. After 30 minutes, I guess this guy went home and was mad I didn't charge him $3 less. My parents just thought he was an idiot. There you have it. The time a guy wanted to be a Karen and just made a fool of himself. He didn't even get his food. I have a lot more stories, so let me know if I should share them. Am I the jerk for telling my husband and his family to suck it up when they complained about my daughter's wedding? I won't complicate this. I have a daughter, Kara, who is not my biological daughter, nor was she my legal daughter until she reached the age of 18 when she asked me to adopt her as an adult. I married my husband when she was 14, and together we have 2 kids. Kara gets along okay with my husband, but admittedly, her upbringing means she was maybe not as able to bond with a father figure as she was with a mother figure, and her age was also a factor. Regardless, everyone gets along, and I think that is the best you expect when you have someone who went through as much as she did at a young age. Kara is engaged and came to me recently and told me she would like to walk with me down the aisle and do a dance with me while her fiance dances with his mom. She told me she didn't know how to ask for that without hurting my husband. I told her he would understand and I would be honored to do it. I did not expect my husband and his parents to take offense. They believe she snubbed my husband and is making it seem like he's nothing. After listening to them complain about this for 10 minutes, I told them to suck it up and accept that she asked me, her mom, to do both of these parts of the wedding and that I was proud to do it. I dared them to tell me I was less deserving than my husband. My husband and his parents believe I wasn't very understanding and downright rude, according to my mother-in-law. Am I the jerk? So, to clarify for people because I was not clear, my husband is not her father. He is her stepfather through me. I was married before, and she was my stepdaughter, who I ended up with custody of, but never legally adopted as a minor because her biological mother was alive. I did adopt her when she turned 18. Not my husband, just me. Adding some more to this, had my husband confided in me that his feelings were hurt, that would be one thing, but he did not. He went to his parents, and then all 3 decided to take offense to the fact not only was he not asked, but I was. And while they never came out directly and told me that I should say no, it was implied throughout their complaints, none of which were about his hurt feelings and all about the snub and how unbelievable it was that I would be filling that role in her wedding. Well, who do you agree with, OP or her in-laws? Please let us know. Maybe those in-laws need to mind their own business. Why can't anyone mind their own business? Lady attempted to spit on me. A few months ago, around the end of November, beginning of December, a woman walks into the girls' clothing store I worked at. Now, the store I worked at recently closed due to being bought out. A lot of people were mad about that, yelling at the employees and demanding explanation. I wasn't a manager or anything, so I didn't really know much, just what I was told. So all I knew was that any purchases made after November 12th were final sale. No returns or exchanges. The registers are also set up where we have signs saying all sales are final, and we have plexiglass between the cashier and customer. This lady came into the store, and she looked pretty put together and wealthy. She was wearing form-fitting jeans, a sweater, and had nice makeup on. In my area, we require masks or face shields, so she had a face shield on. It comes into play later. She also had 2 girls with her, probably 9 and 5. Both of them were also nicely dressed. She walked around for a bit before finally choosing a set of PJs. She walked up to my register and paid for her things, with me telling her 2 times verbally that all sales were final. We tell them all sales are final before they pay and again when we mark their receipt final sale. She acknowledged me, paid, and went to walk out of the store. On her way out, she stopped and looked at the PJs again. She seemed to find another set she liked, so she walked back up to the register. I took her at my register, assuming she wanted to buy the other set, but she slammed the bag of purchased PJs and the other set on the counter and said, "I want to exchange these." I looked at her and said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but all sales are final, so I'm unable to do that." She didn't like that answer and started saying, "I didn't even leave the store. I just bought these. Do it." I explained to her again that I'm unable to do that. We didn't even have the option on the register anymore. She got more and more visibly aggravated with me. She kept demanding that I exchange the items, using so many different excuses like, "I just bought them. They all the same price. I didn't even leave. You didn't even tell me it's final sale," etc. Keep in mind, there are signs all over the store saying final sale, and I told her 2 times. I kept telling her over and over that I couldn't exchange them, but would be happy to ring it up in a separate purchase for her. She wasn't having it. She eventually slid her face shield up and spit in my direction. It landed on the plexiglass and not on me, but at that point, I wasn't taking it anymore. I'm not sure if she knew the plexiglass was there or not, but either way, I was done. I called my manager over and calmly explained the situation to her before stepping back. Now, my manager is very mama bear type. If someone messes with her employees, she doesn't take it. She took one look at the customer and said, "You have 5 seconds to leave the store or I'm calling security to come in here and drag you out." The customer was taken aback for a bit, but eventually grabbed the PJs she purchased and stormed out. Her daughters just looked scared and embarrassed of their mom the whole time. The store closed shortly after that, so I'm not sure if anything ever came of it, but let's just say I'm glad I don't work retail anymore. Am I the jerk for not letting my sister use my pool after she and her kids insulted my family? I, 28 female, am a mother of 2 and engaged to my partner of 5 years, 30 male. My kids are 3 and 5 years old, and neither of them are my partner's children. I am 4 months pregnant with a 3rd baby who is his biological kid. There was never any cheating, and everyone involved is aware of all of this. When we started talking about moving in together, we agreed that we would move in with him, and he put me on the deed, meaning we have equal equity in the house despite me paying a fraction of what he did. My siblings and I grew up poor, and I only met my partner and got to the point I'm at because I got a combination of scholarships and grants for his university. All of this has given my siblings a lot to tease me over. I don't mind it most of the time, but there have been times I've had to shut it down. My sister, 36 female, has 2 kids, ages 4 and 6, with her husband. She and her husband were a few hours away, but last year they moved near us. With lockdown, I suggested that she bring her kids over to use our indoor pool. All 4 kids got on well, and my sister and I got to talk, so the arrangement was working. Additionally, the 4-year-old has a knee thing, which means the best thing for him is swimming, so this had considerable health benefits for him. Then, just before Christmas, they came over. I made my partner a drink and brought it to him, and she made a snarky comment about me being his maid. This led to a passive-aggressive conversation about our income and lifestyle, and the visit was cut short. Then she brought her kids over again earlier this month. I don't know what happened exactly, but my kids came up to me, sobbing, saying their cousins called them jerks, and me a gold digger. My sister was with me, and she said her kids were just joking. I asked her where they learned those jokes, and she said they probably figured it out themselves. I said that even if that was the case, which I doubt, they should still apologize to my kids. She responded that they were only teasing, and I said they were being brats and I expect an apology. My sister got them to apologize and left. Considering that this was the visit following the one where my sister and I had that passive-aggressive conversation about my income, I am confident that they did not figure it out themselves, rather that my sister either said it within their earshot or to them directly and they copied her. She's now calling me asking to use the pool. I've said no. I'm fine with my siblings teasing me, as we're all adults, but her kids calling my kids names, joking or not, was unacceptable. She said her kids were only joking. They've apologized, and they really enjoy coming to my house, and it's helping the 4-year-old. I said they shouldn't be praised for apologizing, and after this, I don't think I want to put my kids in that position again. She said that I was being a selfish, privileged jerk by punishing her kids for something they've already apologized for, and accused me of thinking I was better than her and our other siblings. I said that if she respected anything about my life, we would not be having these issues, and she said I was blowing this out of proportion and being a complete jerk by holding this over them and being willing to affect the 4-year-old's health. I'm concerned that I'm in the wrong due to the 4-year-old's health issues and the fact that the kids apologized and this was a first offense, so I feel I should give them some leeway. Well, what do you think? Is OP the jerk or is her sister? Please let us know. We all know where her kids heard that from. I wouldn't allow them to my house at all. Help me find this item. Ma'am, I quit a week ago. This story takes place at the Mart of Walls, Blue and Yellow Sun store. I had just quit my job there a week prior because I had been offered another job elsewhere. I had been planning on handing in my 2-week notice when I quit, but someone was being so unbelievably rude that I quit on the spot, but that's a different story. Either way, the point is I was no longer an employee. I had to get some groceries, and because their prices were pretty good for what I needed, I went in. I'm pretty sure we all know what their employees wear, either a blue or yellow vest. I was wearing a black hoodie and a Guns N' Roses shirt, as well as shredded black jeans and Doc Martens. I looked nothing like an employee. I had my very expensive headphones on and went straight to the aisle with the candy. I had to bend down to tie my boots and grab something from the bottom shelf when someone starts talking behind me. I just kind of keep looking at the shelf when I feel someone grab my hoodie. Unsurprisingly, I stand up and there is a Karen standing behind me. "I've been trying to get your attention for 10 minutes now." Note, I hadn't been standing there 5 minutes. "I need you to help me grab something from the shelf over there," Karen said loudly, gesturing to the baby section. I am now grumpy. I don't like to be touched because I am very autistic, and I have PTSD due to a very bad relationship. Worse than that though, she's keeping me from my candy. I look her straight in the eyes. I stare deep into her soul. She becomes visibly uncomfortable. I should mention that I was raised in a military family, and I have zero fear of people like her. "I haven't worked here for a week. It's obvious by the clothes I'm wearing that I don't work here. I would strongly recommend that you leave me alone because the next time you touch me, you'll regret it." She very briskly walks to get management. I find what I was looking for and head for the registers. Karen is up talking to the shift manager, who was a friend of mine. She points to me and is obviously lying about what happened. The shift manager is trying so hard not to laugh at this point. Karen turns around in a huff and leaves. As I was walking out, I stopped by the returns desk to say, "Hi." He gave me the biggest smile and just said, "Live the dream, dude." Not the most dramatic, but yeah. Am I the jerk for leaving my sister at home when it was time to go to school? This happened a few months ago, but it's still a point of argument today. I, 16, female, have a 14-year-old sister. I have my own car, and since we both attend the same high school, I'm expected to take her to school with me. My sister, great as she is, has absolutely no sense of urgency when it comes to being on time. She'll deliberately refuse to get out of bed in the morning, takes half an hour minimum to do her hair, and spends so much time primping that she forgets to do necessary things like packing her lunch or taking her medication. I have to go out of my way to wake her up several times in the morning because she refuses to use her alarm and has broken several alarm clocks by throwing them across the room when they go off. I, on the other hand, am annoyingly punctual, and it stresses me out to no end when I'm late because of her. Every single time I've been late this year has been because of her. I'll spend several minutes sitting in my car waiting for her before she comes running out, only to remember that she forgot something and will spend more time looking. I've been late a total of 6 times and end up cutting it close almost every day. My school has a policy that 8 tardies and 1 quarter gives an automatic 3-day suspension. Despite constantly trying to talk to her about it and express that I need her to be on time, she hasn't made any effort. My parents are no help. One day I was waiting in my car for her, nervously tapping my foot and waiting while she dallied. I, looking at the clock, realized I'd have to leave right away to be able to make it on time and decided I'd had enough. I backed out of the driveway and left without her. About 20 minutes later, I got calls from both her and my parents. My mom and sister were furious that I had left her at home and that my mom had to give her a ride. My dad said that he thought it was hilarious and supported me in leaving her. I thought it was totally fair. This way, my sister had to face the consequences of her actions without dragging me down with her. However, many of my friends and family are adamant that it was a jerk move. Am I the jerk? Edit for correction. Thanks to all the positive words. Just wanted to get one thing straight. My sister does not have ADHD. She has an unrelated medical condition that leads to her taking medication in the morning. She's gone through screening for other things before, so we're positive she doesn't have it. It's simply her mindset. Well, what would you do? Would you leave without her? Or would you keep being late because of her? Please let us know. Please come watch this video next. You will love it. And please support our channel by joining as a member today, and we'll give you a special shout out in our next video. And to have us make any kind of video you'd like us to, just come over to our Fiverr page. Link pinned in the comments below.